Hello and welcome to the first episode of Plant Art History. This series of videos will cover the use of agriculture-related art and artisanship within historical settings. In this episode, we'll be talking about the utilization of images within the book Tacuinum, Sanitatis, an ancient medical and agricultural manuscript from the late Middle Ages. And through this analysis, various researchers such as Dr. Jules Janik, Marie Danui, and Harry Paris gleaned what information that was available during that time period, and the role of horticultural plants within health systems. Let's get started. Major figures within medieval medicine was a Christian born in Baghdad. Born sometime in the early 11th century, died around 1068 CE. Although he was born in Baghdad, he was of the Christian faith. He was also well traveled, traveling along was now known as Iraq, Syria, Egypt, Israel, and Turkey. This individual was a radical in its time, differing from the pre-existing Galen and Dioscorides in terms of how medicine was practiced, in comparison to another one of his contemporaries, Ibn Ridwan, who took offense at anything that was not Egyptian medicine or Egyptian in pedigree. The debate between which medieval medicine system was most correct was not solved through scientific methodology, as it is in modern time through peer review, testing, repeat experiments, and so on and so forth. Instead, it was resolved through politics, which ended with Ibn Battutan's career being cut short and Ibn Ridwan exiling him on threat of death. And so Ibn Battutan left Cairo for Constantinople, and that's where his days ended. Ibn Battutan left behind one specific book, however, that was quite interesting, Rectifying Health by Six Causes, as it's translated into the modern language. This was created by synthesizing the long tradition of ancient Greek medicine into one singular form. Basically, it talks about what foods are best suited for eating, how to cook them to maximize the health benefits, and how to use different plants and herbal remedies. It was later translated into Latin by the court of Sicily, and became known as the Tacuinum Sanitatis, or Tables of Health, and became one of the standard documents in medieval medicine for about a century. Only 12 copies of this manuscript survive, of which only half have full-page illustrations, which can be seen on screen right now. These images are broadly based on what was grown within the Arab communities during that time period, and what was grown in 14th century Europe as well. These paintings depict what is commonly grown in horticulture during those time periods, and what was commonly used within horticulture, agriculture, and herbalism. The specific items you'll be discussing: vegetables, fruit, and herbs. Specifically, those fruits, vegetables, and herbs. One of the chief vegetables depicted within this book is the cucumber, which is native to India. It reached Europe in the medieval period, and the picture of the cucumber depicts the use of a strange warty yellow cucumber. This can be traced back to a mistranslation of the Arabic word for chatmelon, which is very similar to the Arabic word for cucumber. The chatmelon resembling far closer the actual depicted painting versus an actual cucumber. But in both cases, the cucumber and the chatmelon were used for very similar culinary purposes. Both the cucumber and the chatmelon are depicted within the book through writing, and both are recommended to be consumed green, and that these cucumbers are used historically to treat fevers, but also cause stomach aches. The eggplant reached Europe in the medieval era, and are often depicted alongside an amorous wooing of a nobleman by a noble woman, while another elegantly dressed lady admonishes them both. This seems to indicate that there is a belief that eggplant has an aphrodisiac quality. The purple fruits appear similar to the Black Beauty market type found in modern times, indicating that these genetic lines are very old, and at least date back to that medieval era. Ibn Battutan recommended these to be used to treat stomachache. The onion picture is depicted as a laborer laboring over a field of onions. The onions clearly have white bulbs, with another group holding purple bulbs, indicating that both color forms of purple versus white onions were already in existence at that time. Onions are considered a diuretic and an eye treatment by Ibn Bhutan, as well as a means of promoting coitus and aid a nursery milk. It also has the side effect of causing headaches. The chickpeas likewise depicted, quite accurately in fact, especially for that era. Ibn Bhutan recommends large-seeded varieties, and were said to treat impotence, but were bad for the kidney and bladder. From a fruit perspective, the manuscript represents the continued collection of grapes by various noble people. The manuscript also recommends the use of verjuice, which is the juice of immature grapes, for various medical purposes. Grapes seem to have been grown on trellises even prior to modern times, as well as be used to make wine. As depicted in one of the paintings, Ibn Bhutan mentioned that the grapes could be used to cleanse the intestine, but cause great thirst. The painting of apples depicts a courtier taking down a bunch of apples from a tree using a stick. Sour apples are recommended to treat hepatitis and fainting, while the sweet apple are recommended to treat heart conditions. Bear this in mind, this is medieval medicine, not exactly cutting-edge stuff in comparison to modern standards. And no, apples cannot treat heart attacks or hepatitis, but I digress. The cherry painting depicts a small child harvesting cherries while in a tree. Two noble women look on, one of which carries a big basket of cherries. Sour cherries were considered best for the health from a stomach standpoint. In terms of herbs, sage is one of the most predominant features within the herbal depiction. The painting depicts two elders ladies picking sage plants. The domestic sage was considered the best and was useful for paralysis and nerve pain. The air herb talked about is madrigam, and the painting depicts the use of madrigam in a vase and was used to treat stomach problems and colds. Still is portrayed by a large field being tended by a young child and a dressed noblewoman. It is commonly used to treat gas, as stated by Ibn Bhutan, but causes kidney troubles and nausea. The last herb we'll discuss is saffron. The painting of saffron depicts a blue-gowned woman carrying a basket of harvest from the saffron field. It was said to cure deafness by Ibn Bhutan. Bear in mind, this video is used to depict what people believed in times gone by and what they had access to. And just goes to show that the Middle Ages had access to far more crops than expected. And the medicine system, although functionally incorrect in the wake of modern medicine, some interesting depictions on how people believed different plants worked. And that about covers everything. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you really enjoyed it and think you can donate, you can do so at Buy Me a Coffee, link in the description below. Thank you for watching.